Hi, this is Ramesh Reddy, Department of CSC, Viswadaya Technical Academy. Today's session, I am going to explain database languages. So the database system provides different languages. These are data definition language and data manipulation language. Data definition language is used to specify the database schema. The schema means table name, columns, data types, and their sizes. And the next one is data manipulation language, which is used to express the database queries and updates. So let us see one by one. So data definition language is also called as a DDL, which defines the database schema. For example, here we have the schema called as account. So this is syntax how to create a database schema. So create table account, and here account number and balance. These two are the columns of this account table, and the data types of account number is character, and here we have a constraint called as not null. The next one is balance, which is a type of integer. So the data definition language can provide some features. The one is domain constraints. So domain constraints always associates data types and integrity constraints. And data types means int, char, date, time, etc. And integrity constraints are not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, and default. These are the different integrity constraints. Here not null means which cannot allow the null values, unique, which cannot allow the duplicate values. The primary key means it's a combination of not null plus unique. That means which cannot allow the null values and which cannot allow the duplicate values. Foreign key. So foreign key means which refers a table. The values of one relation is associates the values of another table. That is called as a foreign key or a reference integrity constraint. And the next one is check. Check is nothing but an assertion which is used to define the condition on any column. The last one is a default. Default is also integrity constraints. Whenever we set a default value of any column, so that cannot allow a value other than that. So these are the different integrity constraints. Now let us see an example. So here let us see this example. We have a table 1 and table 2. So table 2 is considered as a department table and table 1 is considered as a employee table. So this department table is a parent table and employee table is a child table. So in generally without parent there is no child. So likewise, so in department table, department number is a primary key, and employee table, department number is a foreign key. So this is called as a reference key. So in department number is a reference to a department number in employee table. Let us see the example. So here we have the three departments in department table like 11, 24 and 13. These three departments can allow in the employee table. In this employee table we have four departments like 11, 24, 18 and 13. So 18 has no parent. That means the 18 department is not available in the department table. That's why this is an this violates the integrity constraints called as referential integrity constraints. So this is the constraint here. The next one is assertion. Assertion means any condition that can be defined in the database which satisfies the rules or the condition. For example, an employee table, a salary should lies between 10k to 80k. That means while entering the data into the table, the salary should not less than 10k, whereas should not greater than 80k. So likewise we can define user defined conditions on the table. The next one is authorization. Authorization is nothing but access permitted to different users on various data items. Here we have different authorization like read authorization, insert authorization, update authorization, delete authorization. If a user may has a read authorization, so then he can read the data. If the user may have the access to insert authorization, then he can read as well as insert the data. So this is the way how we can provide the access on different data items to the users by database administrator. And the next one is data dictionary. It is a special type of a table which contains metadata. So metadata means data about data. This is a special type of table. These can be accessed and updated by database system itself. That is called as administrator. So simply we can say an example. We have a Dexter. Dexter is a data, and what is the length of this Dexter, and what is the width of this Dexter, and what is the material we have to use to manufacture that Dexter. So this is data about data. And the next one is data manipulation language. This language for access and manipulate the data. There are different access permitted in this data manipulation language. The first one is retrieval of information stored in the database. So we can access data from the database. And the next one is insert of new information into the database, deletion of information from the database, and modification of information stored in the database. These are the 4 accesses available in the data manipulation language. And the next one, what are the types of DMS? Here we have 2 types of DMS. The first one is procedural DMS, and the second one is declarative DMS or non-procedural DMS. The procedural DMS specifies what data are needed and how to get those data. The examples of this procedural DMS are Fortran, formula translator; COBOL, common business oriented language; BASIC, business all purpose symbolic instruction code; C and Pascal languages. These are all procedural languages. And the next one is declarative DMS or non-procedural DMS. They can specify what data are needed and without specifying how to get those data. That means this is a non-procedural. The best example of this is SQL, structured query language, Prolog, and Lisp. Lisp is nothing but list programming. So next one, relational databases. The relational databases is based on the relational model and which uses tables to represent both the data and the relationships among those data. The most commonly or commercial relational database is SQL. SQL is nothing but a structured query language. And here, what is a table? Table is a 2-dimensional database. The 2 dimensions are rows and columns. Each table may allow multiple columns and multiple rows, and the columns should be unique. So this is the different tables available in this relational database. The first one is customer table. Customer table has 4 columns: customer ID, customer name, customer street, and customer city. And the next one is account table. The account table may has account number and balance. So the customer and account table does not have any common column. So by using these two, we cannot get the data. Individually you can get the data, but by using these two we cannot get the data because there is no common column. And the third one is the depositor table. There we have the columns called as customer ID and account number. So this depositor is a table which associate this customer and account table. So by using this depositor table, we get the data from customer table as well as account table, because the deposit table has customer ID which is also available on the customer table, and the depositor table may has account number which is also available on the account table. So this is called as a relational database, how we are relating tables and how to get the data from multiple tables. So next one is data definition language. Already we defined this data definition language. So SQL provides a rich DDL that allows to define tables, constraints, assertions, etc. These are all discussed in the previous topic. And here we have the syntax to create a table, that is account table, which has the columns called as account number and balance. And the next one is data manipulation language. So this data manipulation language also supports this SQL as a non-procedural language. Here it takes input as 1 or more tables and always returns output as single table. That means in a query we get the data from multiple tables, but the output always should be in one table. For example, here we have the query: find the name of customer with customer ID 192837545. For this we can write the select statement. The select statement has three parts. Basically, the select statement has three parts. The first one is select, followed by select list, from list, where, followed by condition. So select list always can stores what we are going to print. So that is the output can be available in the select list. From always can store the table name, and where class we can define the condition. So here we need to display the name. That's why select customer name from which table. The table is customer, so here the from list can store customer. Select customer name from customer, where the condition is the customer id is equal to 192837465. So this is the select statement. These SQL statements can be discussed in the later sessions very clearly. So this is also one some other example. Later we can discuss. These are all queries clearly. And the last one is database access from application programs. So language extension can be allowed by embedded SQL, and application program interfaces like ODBC and JDBC. Here ODBC is nothing but open database connectivity, and JDBC is nothing but Java database connectivity, so which allows SQL queries to be sent to the database. Thank you.